It looks like factions have gotten an upgrade in No Man's Sky's latest patch. Could factions be getting deeper, or could it just be a red herring that only shows number values for affinities? Let's give that some thought. What is going on, you beautiful thought-having people, you? Give it thought back here today for another No Man's Sky news update. And I'm making this video because yesterday I put out a video that went over the newly released patch 1.09 and some of the things that were added and removed. But apparently I made it too early. Not a big deal, there's always room to add on that list. But today I wanted to go over an addition that looks to tease or maybe give us some hope that factions may become more important to the game at some point in the future. So I'll stop blabbering and get right into this. We all know that factions were originally promised to have more significance in No Man's Sky. A website I use a lot as a reference for my videos, onemanslie.info, which I'll leave a link for in the description, details almost everything that was left out of the game, including faction affinity and wars. You can see here that Sean Murray promised that different races have different attributes, and depending on how I'm playing, I might want to kinda make an allegiance with one or the other. And of course, in the end, faction affinity means nothing really. Sure, you can become partners or better with certain races, but other than that, it has no meaningful impact on the game. One Man's Lie also shows us that faction wars were originally planned for the game, and I quote, "Like here, we're at the battle between two warring factions. I could join in, I could take sides." And like a lot of things, that too was left on the cutting room floor. So why am I bringing this all up? Well, with the newest patch, the affinity system changed. Well, kind of. First noticed by Reddit user GermsEatBrains, you now get a number that accompanies your affinity. Here you can see that becoming a partner accumulates to 25 points in affinity, and you can see by the beak and the text that this is specifically with the Gek. I really like that art as well, and I can't wait to jump back in to see the art for the other factions. I actually played some yesterday, but I hadn't noticed these, so hopefully this extends to consoles. But what could this all mean? Probably nothing, as I'm sure a lot of you are ready to point out, and that's fine, it could turn into nothing. But there is the possibility that this could turn into increased faction significance. Why else would they include a number value? Sure, it helps you keep up with the faction more directly, but why would you need to do that if there was no purpose to it? If I was being speculatory, I could imagine that Hello Games is slowly building up faction significance. I think we're a little far off to start hoping for faction wars where you can battle it out with the vy'keen or the Gek, but I think faction affinity may be getting some new life in future updates. And you can be sure that I will cover that once we get some news. And really quick, I just wanted to point out a few things that I missed in yesterday's video about patch 1.09. Commenter Dark Angel's Assassin pointed out to me that we got some new music in the game, so thanks for doing that. I love the soundtrack, and the fact that we get more of 65 Days of Static's music on there is just fantastic. Also, Bungus Albundigus, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, pointed out that 75% life support messages are now silent. And multiple people pointed out to me that the reason that the console patch was much bigger in size is that it's stacked on top of all the other patches. So again, comment section, thank you. The last thing I want to do is bring false information to people, so if you ever see a mistake in one of my videos, please let me know. So what do you think of this update to factions? Is it going to be nothing in the end, or can we possibly be seeing the beginning of a better faction system? Tell me what you think down in the comments. But I think that's the end of today's video. So you know what you have to do. If you're new here, why not subscribe? If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button for me. And if you want to get caught up on patch 1.09, why not check out yesterday's video, which was all about that. And I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, give thought to everything.